sorry for the interruption. That was just my mom FaceTiming me because we're going together on like a short vacation, like in 2 days. No, it's Monday, so Thursday, 3 days. And she just had to, well, do some orga stuff with me so that we all arrive on the vacation spot at the same time. Anyways, so now, again, coming back to painting. Whoop! Not throwing everything away. So I'm just going with a very light yellow thing into the flowers to give it like a little more dimension and depth. And then, oh, I forgot one. Huh. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Come on. Okay, and now I'm just gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna cut it out to put on to the page. I think I'm just gonna use my hairdryer again, so here we go. Yeah, not too shabby. I'm just gonna cut this sweetheart. And I'm not gonna go too close to the leaves because I can always make like a white border with the Sharpies or something. So I guess the cactus is more like the comic style part of that page. And I just realized, like, I don't know, maybe with the last piece that I did, that I'm currently not only mixing media, that's what it's actually called, but also painting styles in my art journal pages. So in the earlier months of this year, I did actually go for one art style and just did different media, and currently I'm more into also changing up the art styles, like going real soft and almost realistic nature like for parts, and then having like a comic-y almost manga style part to it. And I think this time the city wall part, like the pastel chalk part, is going to be like the realistic looking thing, and the wall on the left side that I did with the acrylics is going to be like almost modern art, because it's very rough, it's very almost like blotchy. And this cactus here, having a lot of Sharpie in it when it's done, is going to be like the comic-y manga graphic design style. And I think it doesn't fit for every topic that you do, or better said, there's some topics where I don't want to mix the media because I want it to look like, yeah, quiet maybe. The more serious, darker topics that I do use, they usually have a sentiment and everything. So on these I'm not too fond of having too many painting styles going on my pages. I don't know why, but well, I just go with it. So while I'm cutting that one out, my page in the book keeps on drying, which is good, because I will have, well, I just ruined a part of my flower. Great. Anyways, I will have a lot of shadowing, like the final shadows of the stones and the cactus here. I have to do that, and I really need a dry surface for that. Otherwise, the different shadows will not be like layer over layer, but will smush together and just look like dirt, and I don't want that. I want to have a couple of distinct shadows, so I hope that my page is really dry when I'm coming back to it in a little while. So now that this cactus is cut out, and I have color all over my fingers, I'm gonna go with the Sharpies for the details. So I can put that away already. Those go into the trash. That one goes here, and there are my Sharpies. And I'm usually going with black first and then go in with white. And I just remember that my new permanent marker, my new white one, is downstairs. So I hope that the old one lasts long enough so that I don't have to go downstairs and get the new one. Why do I have color all over my fingertips? So now I'm just really outlining like the cactus leaves, the part that I did not care about earlier. I'm now making sure that I have straight lines and everything. And I don't care about these parts here where, gee, you have like the green paint outside of my Sharpie lines, because all of that in the background will be covered with the white and the black markers anyways, so I don't care. So these are like the roots of the cactus. I'm already gonna blacken that. For this one I'm actually gonna use a bigger Sharpie with like later, but for now that's fine too. And here we go with the next one. And with that leaf. And I can even do some better line work with the Sharpies using the so just had to change the battery of my camera. And while doing that, you could easily pour yourself another cup of coffee, at least when you're me. Going for the outlines of the last part. And now I'm gonna change to a bigger one, an M, because I'm going for everything that I did not cut away. Just gonna give it like the, like I said, the comic-y look. Which I prefer to cutting out cardboard stuff with an X-Acto knife, actually. That I could have done that as well, but I'm not too fond of that. Because it just takes so long and eventually your hands are gonna cramp. So I find this way more well, simple and well, also fun. I like comic style paintings. I like that I can combine them in my art journal because that's the place where I try out new things or just go for the silly things sometimes. I also do that with my digital paintings because it's just so easy to just delete something or erase something, and you don't have to feel bad or worry that you, in quotes, wasted a canvas. For whatever reason, I'm still way more careful with canvas or wood where I paint on, because I don't want to ruin it and throw like money in the wind and like out of the window, not in the wind. And good canvases that hold their shape and are great to be painting on are still quite expensive. So when you color as many canvases as I do, or if you paint as much as I do, you have to really sometimes think about what medium you're gonna use for like new techniques or new stuff where you're not sure if you'll like the outcome, and if it's something that you are going to do like more often, how sure you are, and all of that. So that's why I use recycle stuff and scraps and whatnot in my art journal, just to try out new things and not worry about ruining something of like great value. Oh, I forgot something there. Oh boy, I forgot you. I did not mean to, but I did. There we go. Where was I? Oh yeah, recycling stuff and everything. So whenever I like what I produced, and like with a new technique or with new supplies or whatnot, and I really, really like it, and I feel comfortable putting that on canvas. Once I do, I seldomly go back to paper or cardboard or whatnot. Once I'm comfortable doing something, I usually do it on canvas or like wood or I don't know, plastics or anything, any surface that is more expensive and gives you more trouble to buy than like old paper or newspaper that you get delivered to your house anyways. So I seldomly go back to these kind of resources then. And I wonder if I'm the only one having that quirk, or if there's like a community doing that, or if everybody does that. So if you would want to let me know how you go about these things, I would highly appreciate a comment, because I'm just curious, I guess, how other artists choose what kind of surface or what kind of medium they use when they try out new things, or when they're really, really comfortable with something, and if there is something like a high-end way to do something for you, or if you don't distinguish between a canvas and a piece of paper, like which surface is more, well, not expensive, but more valuable to you. So I would be very happy if you would let me know, because I'm just a curious girl. So I'm pretty much all done with the black part, and once that's really, really dry, I can go, if I want to, with a white line around it that's like on top of the black Sharpie. That makes it really look like a comic. But I would only do that once the cactus is glued onto the page, and that would be like the second to last thing I would do on the art journal page, because the last thing that I always do is putting a date down or at least the month and year when I did something. So here we go, and now I just have to add the thorns for the cactus. And that's gonna be super quick because I'm just gonna put down a couple of little black dots or small lines, so that's actually quick, simple, and you don't have to think about it. And I forgot to paint around this flower. Boy, Sarah, concentrate. And I usually go for an odd number of any details, like lines or whatever that either present motion or highlights or whatever, because the eye finds it more natural and believable and not made up. So yeah, that's what I do. It's really odd what our brains do when they look at a painting, a drawing, a comic, whatever you want to call it, and whatever it is actually. And when it says, yeah, that looks real, or no, something is wrong with it, something is off, it's a cool painting, it's a great comic, it's whatever, but it doesn't look real. It's really odd how the human brain does that without. And then there was the time that I recorded something and did not look up to check if my memory card was maybe full, and talked, and I don't know how much is actually on the video. So if there's like a funny gap or something, that's why. And I'm not gonna repeat what I said because I don't know if it did not record or if it just recorded like half of it or whatever, and wow. So I don't know what I would have to repeat or not, and I'm just hoping that it did, like, say card full half a second before I looked up. That would be awesome. Maybe I'm lucky, who knows. So voila, the cactus. Now I need a sip of coffee then. And now I am having quite a bit of color here remaining on my palette, and if you know me, which I guess you do, if you watch that video, not as the first video, but sorry, but like the fifth, or I don't know how much, rambling again. I do hate to throw color away, so what I do when I have colors on my palette that I won't use anymore, and I'm pretty much done with that color and on that painting, I just put them on an empty canvas and make a so-called Palettendreckbild out of it, which is layer 1, like this one is totally unplanned, and once all of the canvas is covered, I will try to figure out if I see a pattern and paint from there. So here we go. Now we're going back to business. And business is finishing up that page, which has really like a funny bulk. I need my cardboard box as a support again to have a straight thing. And it's almost dry. So there's my cactus. There it is. Would sit like this, something like this. But first I have to dry the rest of that color. So what I'm gonna do now to seal it in, and this is not the proper way to do it, but I just have no other choice. I'm going to spray the pastel chalk with spray adhesive. And then I'm going to put Vernus patch, that's what it's called, on top of all of the page and dry it off to seal everything in so that I can hold on. So that I can have a non-porous surface and also seal in the pastel chalk and not have it either on the other side once I put pressure on it or move it like with one of the next designs. And it also, I can put what's it called, Sharpies and everything like on the next layer without smudging this layer. And usually there's like a spray for that, but like I said, I don't have it, so I have to find the time to go shopping again. And until I do, I have to find other ways. And this is one way. And you have to be really, really soft. Although the spray adhesive like seals like a lot in. Depending on how many layers of pastel chalk you have, it might still smudge a bit. So now I'm gonna dry all of it, and once it's dry I can go with the Sharpies. Ooh, that should be enough for now. And now I'm just gonna work on the left side, which I did not seal in because it's painted with acrylic, so there's no need. And I have sticky fingers now, great. I'm going to figure out where I want this pretty fella to go. I think that's the one. Curves around, because this one here curves around that stone. And I think I'm just gonna let the stone look through a teensy tiny bit. So it goes like this. Yeah. Alright, Sharpie marker or pencil or whatever, just to mark the upper part so that I know where I put what. I decided to go a little lighter here, like on the yellow spot, because it's just a tiny bit too dark for me. And now that the lower level is completely dried, I can go just over it. And I'm going with this one. So it's just the one that I used before. I'm gonna make that just a little lighter. Because it's just a bit too brown. Oh, I have an idea. Why not save us all a bit of time? So I'm not trying to go over these separated lines. That makes the stone actually look like a wall. Because I don't know yet where the shadows are going to be of the yum 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 yum. Yes, the cactus. Sometimes I'm really at a loss for words. So dry. Okay, now I can get where are they? Yeah, that should be enough. So I have like those foam pads and those adhesive pads that I'm having in different sizes. And I'm gonna put them on the back of the cactus to make it a 3D look. So what I gotta do, is that working? Or is it not? Maybe more like this. Gonna put the foam squares on the back, spreading them out as much as I can. I'm sorry that this is not, oh, it is in frame. Okay. Sometimes I just have to look at my camera to see what you see. So just roughly going to spread these, and then I'm gonna clonk against my cup, and I'm gonna take like the protection paper off these first. And then I am I? Yeah, I am. At some of those squares I'm gonna just leave the paper on because I don't care. They're just for the dimension. But everything should hold in place with just a few foam squares at the back, because I do have those two huge strips there. They should keep it all together. Yeah. Okay. So here's my bulby. And I'm gonna just put it down. And although it looks like kind of like wavy now, I don't know if you can see now. Well, it looks more straight on camera actually. It will settle itself in place once I close the book. It will be quite firm. Ta-da! Now I gotta go for the shadows. And I think I'm gonna ink these because that's just easy. I'm going, okay, shadows go this way, so check, going like this. Now with the paper, that's a bit more difficult, and then I have to move to a darker shadow as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go with my Indian ink markers and just smoothing everything out with a brush, like with a water brush, and I have my brush at the ready. And I'm just spreading it out in between them. And that's actually not quite dark enough for me. That's more like it. Guess I had too much water on that. Okay. It doesn't look like much yet, shadow-wise, but it will once we applied highlights. But I have to go over the ink shadows again, because they are not prominent enough. Maybe I gotta go with even darker brown, like with even maybe with black. Although I don't want to use black, I might just have to. Because that was the darkest brown that I have. I don't have any other dark browns, so let's go for black. Black, black, black. Now I find everything but not black. Really? Oh, there it is. Haha, gotcha. Okay, and I'm gonna, go with these here. I guess that's fine. Well, maybe just gonna go a little bit like this. very softly just inking parts of it. Parts of the stones, I mean. To not make it too dark. Okay. Now I go for that's dry, so I can. Oh, my iPad is binging like all the time. So now I can go for very rough outlining of the buildings. To give it some more lines to it, and I'm gonna pretend that these are rocks or like harbor stones, and I'm just super roughly, like almost making weird movements of my hand, like scribbling, sketching, and now this one is empty too. Let's go for the next one. That's actually quite enough already to make it look okay. Now we go with the white, and then I'm gonna go with yellowish ink here, and then I'm done. Now, where is my white marker? Please don't let me go downstairs. No, there it is. Just for the highlights. I think I'm not gonna go with a white line around the blackish parts here, because the black part actually just blends in nicely with the stone. So I'm just gonna go for the lights on the cactus. And a bit on the stones, because I can. And I'm not really controlling the movement of my pen like in detail. Just again let it scribble on certain pieces of the stones, just to set some back and get some into the foreground. This is dark, so light goes only here. Alright, now we go for, I'm gonna add one splash of color. Add the, which one is it? No, that's too dark. At the, oh yeah, at the plant here, I'm just gonna add like a flower here and there, because there were cactuses also blooming in like a purplish pinkish color, and not only in yellow. So I'll go with a bit of purple. And I'm really just making weird lines. The eye actually does the rest. Maybe. Well, let's go with some tiny windows. Now I'm again just scribbling them, just to stay in the style of like the stones down here and the colors. The flowers, Jesus Christ. Please talk straight, Miss King. All right, so let me see. There could be a tiny bit more white here, and here, and here. The highlights were not too prompt. I'm usually just like looking with crossed eyes when I try to figure out highlights and shadows, because then you don't see the structure of a painting, you just see colored spots. And or you can like squint. Is it squint? Like when you almost close your eyes. I have to look up the English word again. Future Sarah of editing this video, please check out the English translation for schielen or Augen zusammenkneifen. So that's what I actually do when I just go for light and shadow to figure out where goes what and if something is light enough or dark enough, and not caring about any structures. So that's that. Now I'm just gonna sign this baby with the date, and it's June, so 06/14, and then I'm done. Ta-da-da-da. Voila. By the way, I did not add a sentiment because I find the page crowded enough. There's no need to crowd it anymore. So, voila. I hope you had fun watching that page coming together. I sure as hell enjoyed it. So, I'm just gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna produce another page maybe tomorrow, because this piece was actually the art journal piece for last week, where I was on vacation. So I have to produce the one for this week, because it's one per week with me. So yeah, I already have an idea in my head, but I'm not gonna tell you yet. You will have to come back and see that later. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Y'all have a good time and see you soon. Bye bye.